The only sound in Canterlot was the pitter-patter of hooves. Through the empty hallways and rooms a shadow moved furtively, nearly silent as it passed through, nary a whisper. So secretive was it that one could not tell exactly what it wanted. No guard had caught sight of it, nor did any servant. Where it creeped, one did not spot, for the lurker did not want to be seen. Hidden was its drive. Secret was its mission. Finally, after navigating hall after needlessly long hall, it arrived at a door, slinking to the corner to be enveloped by the chateau's parterre. It reached out with a hesitant hoof and opened the door. With hardly a glance down the hall to make sure none followed, it dived through the open doorway, the door closing with a soft click behind it. The room was in complete darkness. Then, with a blinding white flash, the lights were turned on, and the silent intruder having to blink their eyes for a few moments to clear them as of the night's glare. After a few seconds of wait for their eyes to adjust, the sneaker of the night finally had an opportunity to gaze around the room. It was all white, the only speck of color being the gleam of chrome from a few kitchen appliances and utensils. The floor and countertops were all scrubbed clean, while the kitchen tools were organized for the next day's duties. Without hesitation, the intruder raced silently to the refrigerator doors, its hoof hesitant as it rested on the handle. An air of excitement surrounding the mysterious figure. After a few moments of deep breath to control their eager nerves, it opened the door, cool steam wafting out as the chilly interior was revealed. There, resting all alone, with the refrigerator bulb illuminating it in a splendid light, was a piece of cake on a plate. So alone, yet so delicious in its glory. Chocolate with pink and white frosting atop, it with added a wave of design on the sides, a single cherry rested on top to complete the look. "Celestia," the cake spoke, stoic in its expression as it gazed at the one who opened the door. "What are you doing here?" "I couldn't keep away," the princess said, the white alicorn gazing down at the dessert with a pleading look. "All I could think was you, my love." The cake sighed, holding still under her troubled gaze. "Celestia, you know we can't go on like this. It just won't work." "We can make it work," she tried to assure him, grabbing hold of his plate and bringing his sweetness closer to her lips. "Please, I'm sure we can." "How?" he asked, not bothering to look at her. "How could we ever make our love work?" "Love always works in the end," she told him, smiling lovingly as she leaned in closer. "I just know it does." The piece of cake remained silent for a few seconds longer, its face hard to read. Then a chuckle started to bubble through. "You have much hope in us, Celestia. More than me. Guess that's what drew me to you in the first place." Celestia smiled in relief, not ruining the moment with words. Instead, she laid down on the cold kitchen floor, the presence of her beloved treat keeping her company, her eyes closed in bliss as her lips slowly brushed along the cake's surface, a few crumbs and wisps of icing collecting there. With an eager tongue, she licked her lips, enthralled by the taste of her love. "My love," the cake began, hesitant with her approach. "What I am worried about is what others would think of our love." "They don't have to think anything of it," she assured him, lifting him closer so she can stare him in the eyes. "I am the princess. My word is law. They will just have to live with it." "And so will we." The cake seemed to slump slightly, his icing no longer looking as frosty as before. "I am merely a lowly dessert, not baked by the best of the best, not made by the rarest ingredients available, just a simple cake that has no right to be graced by your taste buds." Hush you," Celestia commanded, holding a hoof to his mouth. You are much more than a lowly dessert. Your texture is exquisite. The icing that graces your top is one of the most delectable sweetnesses I have ever tasted. Your creamy filling leaves me licking my lips for ages. Even your cherry, that one single cherry, makes you more beautiful than you could ever imagine. A single strand of drool fell from Celestia's mouth as she leaned in closer, her tongue just barely resting over the surface of the pastry. Now, take me, my sweet. Yes, my dear Tia, the cake whispered, his urge for her as great as her for him. No words were spoken. None need be said. It was only a mare and a piece of cake. Chocolate, I might add. They were lost in one another's embrace. Lips smacking together could be heard, along with the occasional moan in pleasure. It was passionate love-making, and for that one moment, no one could judge their love, except for a video camera hanging in the corner of the kitchen. Princess Luna trotted down the halls of the castle, checking in every open doorway she could see. All night she had been trying to reach her sister, but Celestia could not be found in her room or anywhere else in the castle. A few more minutes and Luna feared she would have to call the guards to start for the missing princesses. Princess, not S. Suddenly, her ears caught the sound of crunching. Growing more curious by the second, Luna peeked in the open door where the noise was coming from. There, leaning back on a comfortable-looking couch, was Discord. The reformed spirit of chaos and disharmony was currently munching on some popcorn, staring lazily at a large plasma screen television that took up the entire wall of the room. Luna's eyes opened farther in wonder as she gazed intently on the screen, shocked at what was being depicted. Is that Tia making love to a piece of cake? Yeah, Discord answered in a country accent he had suddenly picked up, returning to his usual voice with another bite of popcorn. Chocolate this time? Luna's face twisted into a squeamish look as the events on screen started to become more physical. And with the volume for the television up high, the sounds of pleasure soon grew into a crescendo. Looking over at Discord with an arch of her eyebrow, she asked, So, this is how you spend your Saturday evenings? Every week, he answered, snapping his fingers and causing a soda to appear next to him. Sipping at it, he turned to her and shook the popcorn bag. Popcorn? Glancing back at the screen, then at Discord, then back to the screen, and once more, Discord! She shrugged her shoulders. Sure. Why not? She made her way and sat down, Discord scooting over to make room for her. Then the two spent the next several minutes staring at the screen, sharing a popcorn bag between them. Overall, a pretty nice way to spend a Saturday night. The chef yawned, smacking his lips lazily as he opened the kitchen doors. He needed to make breakfast for the princesses and then prepare for another royal party in the afternoon. He had a busy day ahead of him, so he set about getting his kitchen ready for the rest of his staff to arrive. Going over to the refrigerator to grab some eggs for an omelet, his face quickly transformed into a grimace as he stared at the floor before the refrigerator doors. Oh, come on! He yelled in disbelief, once more finding a mess in his spotless kitchen. Every Sunday morning, someone makes a mess with a cake all over the floor. Every time! Don't ponies have any decency? Scowling at the mess he had to clean up once more, he noticed that he accidentally stepped in some of it. And what the hell is this sticky liquid everywhere?